Hey guys, what is up? It is Nixter28 here, and I'm here with a different kind of video. Today I'm going to be presenting you guys with a video about a band called Megadeth. They are a thrash slash metal band. So they play like fast rock and roll music. Really, most of the time it's fast. Sometimes it's slower, but yeah, anyways, they're a band that started in 1985, and they're still around today, and I'm going to be ranking all their albums. Yeah. Alright, so let's start with an album a lot of people don't like, Megadeth fans, and it's called Risk. It's from the year I was born, unfortunately, and it was not that great of an album. The problems with it are the fact that it was a lot slower of an album. It was more of a hard rock album than a thrash record. There were some weird like audio effects in it, and it's just not a great album. Most people don't like it. I would probably rate it like a 4 out of 10. The only decent song on it that I really kind of actually enjoyed a little bit was 7. Otherwise, the rest of the songs kind of stink. I mean, Ecstasy is okay, but yeah, anyways, let's move on. There's not much to say about this album. Alright, next is another one. Pretty subpar, not great. Called Super Collider from 2013. Again, not that great of an album, but this one was a little better than Risk because it was a little bit faster. I mean, the riffs were more the guitar riffs were hastily thrown together, which I didn't really like. There's not really any great songs in here at all. I did, however, kind of like Cold Sweat was a decent song. Kingsmaker's okay. Burn. Other than that, not much to like on this album. So let's move on to the next album. Number 13 is World Needs a Hero. Now this album was supposed to be a return to Megadeth's thrash roots, so fast-playing, aggressive metal, and it really kind of wasn't. It was still more of a hard rock album, but more so a metal album. This one was, and again, there's not many good songs in here, but I should say there's not many good. Yeah, there's not many good songs, but there are some really good ones. Burning Bridges had some great lyrics and some pretty good riffs. Promises, the lyrics were awesome in that song. Recipe for Hate, Warhorse, a lot of people like that one. Return to Hanger, I don't know what they're doing with that song. Not that great of a sequel to Hanger 18, which I'll talk about later. Losing My Senses is a crappy song. Disconnect, horrible. Motorcycle's really weird. When, it was just way too long. And I heard they ripped off Diamond Head with that song, I'm pretty sure. They're another band. I don't know much about Diamond Head, but that's what I heard. But anyways, enough of this album. Again, another mediocre album. Now we're getting a little bit better with this release, 13 from 2011. There's much better songs on this album. And also another interesting thing to note, the lead vocalist of the band, if you guys didn't know, is Dave Mustaine. You probably don't know. But his birthday is on September 13th, so we decided to call this album 13, which is really cool. And the songs are much better on here because he was more inspired to like write songs about his career in music and his life more so. And there are some good songs in here, but nothing super memorable. The first 2 songs are awesome. Sudden Death, Public Enemy #1. Great riffs, pretty good lyrics. Production on this album is good. That's a strength. Other songs I liked were We the People. Fast Lane is pretty good. And other than that, the rest of the songs are okay. They're not that great. The worst song on this album probably was Guns, Drugs, and Money. I didn't like it that much. And yeah, so overall this album was a decent album. It's better than the releases so far. Okay, let's move on to number 11. This one, a lot of people really like this album. So far, so good, so what? But I'm not a huge fan of it. The production's really thin. It's hard to hear Mustaine's vocals. The guitarist and drummer on this album aren't my favorite. They had a different guitarist and drummer. I forget their names now, but I didn't care for them that much. The songs in here that I liked the most was In My Darkest Hour. That's really cool. It was supposed to be a tribute for Cliff Burton, who's a bassist of Metallica. So that's really cool. A really cool song. I recommend at least hearing that one. What other songs are good? Into the Lungs of Hell is a cool instrumental leading into the Set the World Afire, the second song on the album. Liar is a decent song. Hook in the Mouth is really cool too. And the rest of the songs I don't really care for. Anarchy in the UK is actually pretty terrible. Mary Jane's alright. 502 is not that great. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it for this album. Move on to the next one. Alright, now we have at number 10, Cryptic Writings from 1997. Now this one's kind of an interesting album because it's more on the hard rock, like commercial kind of side. Some people like compare it to Metallica's Black Album, but I don't think it's like that at all. I think it's really pretty unique and creative of an album, and there's really good songs on here. There's some slower songs and there's some faster songs. It's a really good like combination of songs. If you guys like hard rock and faster like metal music, this is the album for you. There's a good combination of that on here. The songs I really liked on this album were Trust. Disintegrators is a really cool song. Secret Place is interesting. A lot of people don't talk about that one, but that one's cool. She-Wolf was cool. People like Vortex. I thought that was a pretty good song. And I liked FF a lot. That's a really fast song as well. And this album is a good album to get into Megadeth with. I really liked it. And yeah, this deserves to be in the top 10, definitely. And that's why I put it at number 10. Okay, now we're going to move on to number 9, which is Euthanasia. Now, at first glance, I didn't really care for this album. But now when I look back, it's pretty creative, I thought. Probably one of Megadeth's more creative albums. It is slower. The production is excellent. And it's a decent album. It's just, I don't think the songs were any, like, I didn't think the songs were really super invoking to me. Or that interesting. But some of them are. Let's see. Reckoning Day is pretty good. Addicted to Chaos. To Le Mans was kind of cool. Elysian Fields, Killing Road. Blood of Heroes. Family Tree's alright. And probably one of my favorites on the album was Victory. I'd say that one I really liked out of all the other songs. All the songs I just named were pretty cool. But yeah, this album, some people might say I put it a little bit too low on the list. But I think it should be where it should be. And another thing that's weird, and one more thing about this album, is there's like an old woman hanging up babies on the album cover, so that's kind of weird. But anyways, yeah, let's move on from this album. It is a pretty cool album, but I'd recommend listening to it. But anyways, yeah, let's move on to number 8. And this one is United Abominations from 2007. This one was pretty cool. The guitarist and the drummer on this album, they were their brothers, Glenn Drover and Sean Drover. So I thought that was interesting, and they're pretty good, I thought. There's some good guitar solos on this album and some pretty cool songs. I liked first 2 tracks are awesome. Sleepwalker and Washington Is Next. What else do I like? The remake. There's a remake of To Le Mans on here. Set Me Free. I like this one better than the original. It's pretty cool. And Burnt Ice is also a pretty cool song. This album's a little bit underrated, I think, in the Megadeth discography. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this one too. You to listen to this one. But yeah, it's not my favorite album, but it's pretty cool. I kind of liked it. All right, number 7. This one I really liked. This is supposed to be Dave Mustaine's solo project. It's called The System Has Failed. Actually, interesting story. Dave Mustaine got injured, I think, in 2002. And he broke up the band for a while. And then he decided to start the band back up again. He was working on a solo project, yeah, right. And then, for some reason, this album became a Megadeth album. I'm really glad it did. And the studio, players for this album, they had different band members for this album. Megadeth likes to change members a lot. Or Dave, at least, does. But yeah, there were different members on this one, and they were pretty good. And the thing I really liked about this album, probably my favorite part about this, is that Chris Poland, their original guitarist, came back to play studio solos for this, and that really turned out well, I thought. And there's some awesome songs on this album. The first three are amazing. Blackmail the Universe, Die Dead Enough, Kick the Chair. Actually, all the first 5 tracks are awesome. Scorpion is cool. A lot of people like that one. Tears in a Vial is pretty cool. I Know Jack was a weird instrumental. Didn't care for it. I don't know what. Back in the Day is awesome. Something That I'm Not's pretty cool. Truth Be Told is awesome. Mice and Men is okay. The last 2 tracks aren't that great, but most of the songs in here are very, very cool. If I would have to pick a favorite, it would probably be Kick the Chair. That's an awesome song. But yeah, this album overall is very, very good. I highly recommend it. And yeah, let's move on to the next one. Killing Is My Business. Now, this album is great, but the problem on the original album was, there were a couple problems. Production wasn't that great because the band, Dave Mustaine, and all the members on this album, they spent it on drugs, their money on drugs and food, like any other band would, and they only had half of their money left to actually spend on this album, and it still turned out pretty awesome. Just the production was a little thin, and the other problem is Capitol Records made a crappy album cover for the original album, and I actually have a picture of the remastered cover. This is based off of Dave Mustaine's original drawings, and it's a much better cover. It's really cool. I like it. And anyways, good songs on this album. Love the Last Rites, Love to Death. That's cool. The title track is pretty cool. Skull Beneath the Skin is awesome. Rattlehead is the best song on this album. It is sick. And Chosen Ones is cool. And Mechanics is actually a Metallica song. The Four Horsemen. Dave Mustaine wrote it. And Metallica modified it. And this is basically Dave's version of it. And it's pretty cool, I thought. It's not my favorite. But my favorite on this is definitely Rattlehead. It's one of Megadeth's signature songs. They play it at almost every live show. And yeah, anyways, awesome album. You should listen to this one. But not the best. They're a lot better than this album. Okay, so let's move on to number 5. This one is their new album, Dystopia. And I'm going to tell you why it's better than the last album. First of all, guitar solos sick, drums sick. Dave's vocals are pretty good. They're a little bit repetitive, the vocals, but it's still awesome. There are some great songs on here, definitely. Dystopia is a cool song. Fatal Illusion, it was my favorite song, but now it isn't. I would say, probably, I don't know my favorite songs, honestly, on this album. Probably Dystopia. But Poisonous Shadows is cool. I really like that one. Conquer or Die is cool. And The Emperor is a pretty cool song. But anyways, this album, really awesome. An awesome thrash album. This is their new album, and I definitely would highly recommend you guys listen to this one. And the guitarist on this album, his name's Kiko Laredo. He's very talented. Chris Adler's pretty cool. And Dave Ellefson was the bassist. Yeah, I highly recommend this one. And they are touring right now for this album, so that is awesome. Alright, let's move on to number 4, which is Endgame. And some people might be surprised that I put this above the new album, but I really like this one because I think some of these songs were some of the first Megadeth songs I've ever heard. I'm not sure if they're the first. Not sure if it was the first Megadeth song. Not sure if these songs on these albums were the first I've ever heard, but some of the first I've heard ever from Megadeth. This is a very cool album, definitely. Some really cool thrash record. Lots of fast songs, fast beats. Pretty good drumming. Chris Broderick had awesome solos. And yeah, some of my favorite song probably would have to be on this album. Probably either This Day. Actually, no. Probably Head Crusher would be my favorite. One of my favorites. This Day We Fight is cool. Dialectic Chaos is an awesome 2-minute guitar solo. 44 minutes. 1320. Actually, that one is my favorite. I really like that song. That's my favorite song on this album. Endgame is cool. The 8th track, The Hardest Part of Letting Go, Sealed with a Kiss, is a cool ballad. How the Story Ends, that's a cool song too. But anyways, this is definitely deserves to be in the top 5. Probably Megadeth's best album in the 21st century. Yeah, highly recommend it. And David Ellefson was not on this band. What did I just say? David Ellefson was not on this album, which is a little sad, but it's still an awesome album. Anyways, yeah, let's move on to Countdown to Extinction. This is Megadeth's best, like most commercially successful album. It peaked at number 2 on the charts. Definitely a very, very cool album. Some awesome songs. Skin of My Teeth, Symphony of Destruction was, I think, was the first Megadeth song I ever heard. It's pretty memorable. Good lyrics. Architecture of Aggression is awesome. Foreclosure of a Dream is about our economy and how rigged, I guess, the real estate industry is. Sweating Bullets is Dave Mustaine talking to himself. Hello, it's me again, he says. And Symphony of Destruction is pretty memorable, too, as well. Countdown to Extinction is alright. Some of the deep tracks I really liked. High Speed Dirt and Captive Honor. Those are really cool. Ashes in the Mouth is an excellent 6-minute thrash song. It's one of the faster songs on the album, I thought. I really liked it. Marty Freeman has some awesome solos on here. Benz was killing it on the drums, and you got Ellefson and Mustaine. This album's pretty much got everything for you from Megadeth, really. It's got everything you would want from Megadeth. Definitely recommend this. This should be one of the first albums you hear, definitely. Alright, number 2, and this is even more epic. Peace Sells, But Who's Buying, from 1986. The one downside to this one was the production wasn't that great. It's a little hard to hear Mustaine's voice at times. This is a top-notch Megadeth album. Pretty much every song's awesome on this album. I liked all of them, with the exception of actually none of them. I liked every song on this record. But most people really like Good Morning Black Friday. That's a very creative song. It starts out slower, and then it builds and builds and builds. It gets faster. Chris Poland has some amazing guitar solos on this. Wake Up Dead has some really cool drumming on it from Gar. The Conjuring is awesome. Peace Sells is my favorite Megadeth song. The lyrics are awesome. Absolutely amazing. Devil's Island is cool. Bad Omens is one of my least favorite, probably, but it's still cool. I liked I Ain't Superstitious. I believe this is a cover. I don't know by who, but it's cool. It's more bluesy and groovy. And My Last Words is pretty cool as well. So, awesome album. Probably their best album in the 1980s. Alright. And last but not least, the best Megadeth record of all time, Rust in Peace from 1990. And basically, all I'm going to have to say is you have to hear this record to hear how awesome it is. Marty Freeman has amazing guitar solos. He's the new guitarist in this album. Nick Menza kills it on the drums. David Ellefson kills it on Dawn Patrol. Lyrics are amazing from Mustaine. Yeah, pretty much all the songs are classic on this record. Holy Wars, Hangar 18, Take No Prisoners, Five Magics, Poison Was the Cure was killer. Lucretia is underrated. I thought it was really cool. My favorite song on the record, Tornado of Souls, Dawn Patrol, like I mentioned, and Rust in Peace, Polaris. And they play most of these songs for live shows. And in 2010, they did a anniversary tour for this record. And yeah, this record's kick-ass. You should buy it. One of the best metal albums of all time. Alright guys, that is the end of my Megadeth Ranked video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and go listen to Rust in Peace, because first, I highly recommend it. But anyways, yeah, listen to all the good records. Yeah, just go and check out these records. The only records I don't recommend are Super Collider and Risk. But yeah, I definitely recommend the first 5 to listen to. Yeah, enough jabbering. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And hope you guys enjoy listening to these albums. Alright. Bye, guys.